Welcome everybody to Saw Acres. So today I figured I'd show you the chicken coop and go over a debate. Is it cheaper to buy or build your chicken coop? Short answer is that depends, all right? I was gonna build my own chicken coop. I build almost everything else. But by the time I got done calculating the costs of just the lumber itself, I was already over the cost of what this coop cost me from the Amish. So that's one consideration. I didn't even have roofing material and hardware calculated yet, and I was already, close to $1,000 just to materials. Then the fact that I'm going to have to spend, at least a couple days putting the whole thing together and all the planning, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt. So I paid $750, I think, for this coop. It's a 6x9. So a couple other things you should probably think about: your tooling. Do you got chop saws, skill saws, sawzalls, hammers, drill drivers, impact drivers, nails, screws, all that stuff. And then if you use steel as your roofing, you got shears and tin snips and everything that goes into it. I enjoy doing that stuff, and I think most people do that are homesteading. It's satisfying seeing a structure erected that you put your time and labor into to house animals and whatnot. But at the same time, you don't want to waste all your time and energy. I'll show you around this coop real quick. When I first got it, it didn't have that space underneath of it. I actually tipped it over on its side on the ground, and I built the stilts underneath of it along with skids so I could kind of drag it around the property as necessary. The unit itself is still movable, but I attached this predator-proof run. And make sure when you put your fencing in, it goes down a couple inches into the ground and then out about 6 to 10 inches. That way, coyotes or coons or whatever, they go digging at the bottom of the fence, and because it's down and out, they dig right at the edge of the fence and they just hit more fencing underneath. And I use just regular chicken wire on the top to keep out the aerial predators, the raptors. We've actually had an owl rip 2 chickens halfway through this 2-inch by 4-inch side fencing. It actually killed 2 of them through the fencing, which is really nuts. Anyway, to save a little bit of extra money, I just used some logs I had laying around the yard to make a couple steps out of. That one is entirely out of those logs. This one just the uprights and then some 2x6. Take a quick look inside. We just used, sticks from around the yard. Well, I used saplings, but either way, I went through and let's see if you can see that. But the insulation up in there, when I first put it in, they were trying to peck at it. It was getting on their beaks and crap, pretty nasty, but they don't care. I wired in an overhead light and an outlet. That way we can, keep the water from freezing. The pop doors had wooden ones initially. I took those out and put in pieces of aluminum sheeting that we can lock to help make it predator proof. We had bantams at one point, so we put these little bitty coffee cans up in the corner, heat lamps, and that actually does make a difference when it's really cold out for your egg production. The boxes, the laying boxes, we got one right here. This is what it came with. And we got 2 birds in here, just chilling. Hi there. It's okay. Yeah, I know. 1 egg today. We've, ever since we changed their food, we've been getting a lot of eggs. So I constructed these guys. Just, they don't really need it, but there's another bantam box. It gets nasty, no doubt, but that's chickens. They love these roosting bars, though, or perches. They all line up, all 18 of them on that main one right there. It's funny. When the heat lamps are going, the bigger birds will monopolize the middle area. And we find, we added these extra boxes after a while, and some of the birds are using them. There's an egg in there. This pop door we basically keep open all the time just because it goes to the predator-proof run. When we first started off, we didn't have the full enclosed run, but honestly, I got tired of stepping in bird poop all over the yard because I'm out working in the yard all the time. So we got this netting after the owl incident and netted in an entire area. And it's been holding up pretty good. Royal pain in the butt to get up here. And you can see it's starting to fall down a little bit. It's been over a year now, so not too bad. But going around trees, the pine tree, the fencing itself, went through a ton of zip ties. I think this was a 50 by 100 piece when we first got it. Anyway, they generally just hang out in here. And the really nice part about getting the coop up on stilts is that it keeps a nice dusty area for them to do their dirt baths. So back to building versus buy-in. You know, if you have a good source of reduced cost materials, oh, I would do that in a heartbeat. But if you're going to the box stores or any, you know, lumber yard, by the time you get to just the exterior materials or the framing, it ends up not being worth it if you can find an Amish area or somebody who pre-builds them. You know, if I were to do it again and I didn't have the availability of an Amish pre-built coop, I'd be looking around for old, you know, playhouses or little sheds, anything along those lines. You know, you can pick them up, you know, on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, if anybody still uses that. Just because, you know, the cost of materials right now is so outrageous. We have all sorts of little outbuildings here that I've been picking up over the years just because we need them. We run into it all the time. We need a little dog house, or we need a shelter for the male goats, or the rabbit hutch, or the hay, or the wood, or, you know, it's always something. So keep your eyes open and be willing to go get them. I actually had to drive an hour and a half away, you know, with a big 7x12 trailer to haul this guy back. You know, so it was a pretty big ordeal. They helped me load it. Nice folks. They gave me a ton of sawdust just because they have bags and bags and bags of it laying around. For me, it was worth it. If you can find an Amish community somewhere, you know, even if it's 3, 4, 5 hours away, you know, check it out. It's well worth it. This one, in case you're in Michigan, come from Clare County area. Beaverton, I think, was the name of the town. It's central Michigan, kind of in the middle of the lower peninsula. So well worth it. I mean, like I said, $750 for the whole thing. I spent maybe a couple $100 on the rest of the supplies and materials, and the fencing and the posts and the stilt material to get it off the ground. So, you know, you got to weigh your options. Obviously, everybody has to do that. But best of luck to you. If you got any questions, feel free to throw it down in the comment section. I reply to every comment, and have a great day.